Hey guys, so it is the end of my day, and I just thought it might be a good idea to sort of recap what a normal day for me looks like. One of the first things I do, check out what's going on in email, and then as quickly as possible, get into a major task item for the day, the one thing that I want to accomplish and knock out. I have a lot of meetings during the day as one of the executives. I got a lot of stuff going on, and we're in the middle of a rebrand and all kinds of stuff happening on that side. So, my brain is switching gears from, leadership kind of stuff and communication stuff to brand, design, copy, that kind of thing. And so one of the things that I've done in sort of the workspace that we're in is I've got everything sort of posted up on whiteboards, and we've got stuff printed out, and we've got milestones, and we've got all this kind of stuff that help us sort of visualize the work that needs to be done. And at any point in time, pick up a conversation that's really old, meaning some of the work we were doing, 2 months ago that have informed the work we're doing today, as well as everything that's fresh, like the stuff that we're actually working on, this week specifically. And so we can jump in and out of context super fast. And more importantly, when people walk in and they want to talk about the work we're doing with, the rebranding, the messaging, the Valprop stuff, the RTBs, all our proof points and claims, and sort of how do we arrive at some of these distinctives and some of the brand things that we do. I have all that available to do storytelling pretty much on demand. I don't have to go search for anything, and it keeps everything not only close and handy, but it also keeps everything top of mind, and so we can have a lot of continuity. One of the things I'm a stickler about on the brand side is I want to send out a communication that feels like us everywhere, whether it's our sales team, our marketing efforts, our email communications, or whatever else. And so I do that by making sure we have visual context all the time. So when we're proofing new work, new pages for the website, landing pages, or even email templates, etc., we have all this context available to us. And we don't have to sort of picture in our minds what it is that we've been doing. We can just sort of go right to the source and say, like, these are the standards we've developed. These are, this is the way we use buttons. This is the way we use color. This is the way we do spatial relationships. This is the way we use brand elements. And so by doing that, there's a concept I have called artifacts versus ransom notes. And this is something that really just has developed over the last 20 years of my experiences. I just identified that so many organizations wound up creating ransom notes, these different ways of communicating, different tone, different voice, different visual standards. And it just would, when you put them all side by side, it would just look real chaotic and hence look like a ransom note. Whereas artifacts, just like sort of in the historic sense, they tell a consistent story over time that seem to represent your values and what you stand for, who you're talking to, your audience, and all that kind of stuff. And so whenever I'm looking at design reviews and stuff like that, I'm looking at what's the visual communication, what's the hierarchy of communication, like what are we saying in what order, is our one thing clear here, and then the same thing is true whenever I'm doing copy review and all that kind of stuff. Is it in our voice, all these brand standard things. So, and I know I'm probably boring you with some of that, but and so anyway, like the first thing this morning was we got with the designer and we're like, okay, we're approaching deadline, we've only got a couple of weeks left, and we still have about 20 pages to make it all the way through the design standards. Now, a lot of this work we've already worked through in the past and stuff, so it's actually just reskinning work on the new brand and all that, so that's fine. But there's also still a lot of copy to do, and we've been looking at our email and a lot of our on-page, our highest performing pages with analytics and things like that for conversion as signals to sort of how to prioritize content. And so, right away this morning, we did sort of a project management discussion around the pages, got the team on board with sort of our timeline, and regrouped on a few things, reprioritized sort of an agile methodology, right? Like what really needs to happen in one order based on our implementation teams and the folks who are having to take this content and this design stuff and all that and put it actually in a consumable web format. We were talking about viewports, small viewports or big viewports, big desktop, or tablet or whatever. And so that really just is kind of what my normal day looks like. In the midst of all that, a communication call around like some legal stuff and like how to actually say what words in what way, and make compliance people happy and all that kind of stuff. And it all comes with the territory. But one of the things that is always in my mind is, while I was telling you about all this brand stuff, I'm always thinking about the customer and the vision and the values sort of working together. So what do we stand for as a company, and how does that go towards our customers? And so I'm always sort of, with empathy, thinking about our customers, who they are, what they care about, what the messaging is, the things we outlined that really mattered to them as proof points, right? This is the way they see the world. This is the way they talk. This is the things that will resonate with them based on where they are in their customer journey or their buyer's journey. And so, you know, as my role in the organization, even though I sort of float in and out of different tactical exercises, whether it's writing copy or doing design reviews or whatever else, I'm always thinking about the overall brand, the overall communication for our customer, right? So whenever I'm talking to the product team, I'm talking to the product team thinking about our customer. I'm the voice of the customer. Whenever I'm talking to, you know, sort of our marketing efforts, which is obviously my group, you know, I'm thinking about the customer. Whenever I'm talking to the design group, right? The guys that are sort of in between product and marketing, they're working on the app, they're working on the onboarding experience, all that kind of stuff. It's still all about the customer. So being the voice of the customer is a real big deal, and making sure, you know, like, how does pricing work? How does that communication work? When it comes down to it, like when it's PR and legal notices and all that kind of thing, it's really the same thing. I have to think about what our communication is externally, how it gets received by our customers, especially our ideal customers, or what I like to call our BOBs, which is best of best customers. Because when you're clear on who your best customers are, that's who you're ultimately selling to on an ongoing basis, right? And so continue to think about those things. Anyway, it's my point with sharing this with you is I know we all have different ways we go about doing work, and I just wanted to share a little bit about what my process is like, what my daily experience is like. And I happen to have Jimmy John's today, so I had a real big old sandwich and some chips and some unsweet tea. So that's what I had for lunch. And I'm ready to go home. So I just thought I would shoot this with you and let you know a little bit about my daily work. And I don't know, I felt like maybe there was something else I wanted to tell you. I can't think of what it is, but I'd love to know what your daily work looks like. So why don't you tell me? Thanks so much.